still happening today.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure of the records you're talking about.
Well, there are active fish infections every year on fish farms in Birch Club. You're aware of that, aren't you?
Yes.
Right. So despite the best efforts, you can't stop them.
Well, the efforts again around implementing a fish health management plan is to have the best efforts in place by the companies in order to manage the fish health of their stock. Their stock being in net pens surrounded by the open ocean. It's, it seems to me that it would be logical to assume that some pathogens were picked up in the open ocean.
So the only way you can prevent wild fish from getting infections is to keep them away from migratory bats. Wouldn't that make sense?
I'm sorry, the only way you're asking the only way to keep wild fish from getting infections? I mean,
yes.
Wild fish get infections. I'm no expert in fish health, but my belief is wild fish get infections, whether as part of a natural course of fish being in the natural environment.
All right, can I have exit aquaculture number 23 up on the screen? This is this Canadian Environmental Assessment Act screening for the Dunsterville site on the Discovery Islands. Can we have that marked as an exhibit? Can I have aquaculture exhibit 24 up on the screen? This is the application, the SIA assessment screening for the Convo Bay site in the Discovery Islands. Can we have that marked as the next exhibit? 630. And is it your evidence that those SIA screenings would have considered the risk to wild salmon of transmission of disease when we have disease outbreaks?
Well, I'm not familiar with these particular two environmental assessments as they're authored by Transport Canada, but what I said earlier was that I know in previous environmental assessments authored by DFO, disease risk was considered an effective.
Now, Mr. Swartfeger, earlier we had tabled the application form for a new license under current rules. Let me suggest to you that nowhere on that license do they even ask whether the site is on a migratory site or not for wild sockeye. It's not even on the application form. Is that fair?
I don't believe it's on the form for that question, though.
So currently the federal government takes no special steps in respect of farms that are on the salmon migratory route.
Well, under the current regime, which has been in place since December 19th, 2010, no, but we are in the midst of developing integrated management of aquaculture plans, which are designed to take an area management approach to aquaculture management in the province of British Columbia.
And as I understand that the farms that are currently approved by the federal government were grandfathered basically over from the provincial regime. That's right.
Licenses were issued for the same number of species and for the same level of production.
There was no new assessment done.
There was an assessment of the license production and the amount that was the past previous provincial licenses were provided to the department for review.
Mr. Commissioner, I'm going to raise with respect to the time simply to indicate that Mr. McDade is at the 20-minute mark, I'm afraid. Don't know if he's managed to succeed in contributions from colleagues. But in the absence of that, based on the premise that is applied fairly with all council, I will ask that we move on to the next council.
That's all I can do.